I really wanted to talk to you about, there's that pool scene, and it's in the trailer, so I know I could talk about it.
You're allowed to say a little something.
So, what was it like swimming in all of that? That must have been an experience.
It was really difficult. It was the hardest day I've ever had on a set, and I consider myself athletic. I consider myself a professional athlete. But I knew that I wanted to make everyone really proud. I hope people like it because I was thinking about the audience, and I was like, do not underdeliver. Don't go there. And so every time I was like, go. And I hope people like it.
You absolutely crushed it. I loved it. I saw it. Yep. So congratulations. Now my question for you is, what vampires, were there any specific vampires you used as inspiration for how you tackled the role?
Well, before Abigail, the only vampire series that I'd seen was Vampire Diaries, and I hadn't seen any other ones, so I hadn't seen any vampire movies either. So getting to play a vampire, I learned so much. And not only getting to play a vampire, but getting to play a ballerina vampire, I think made it 10 times better.
Now, have you ever thought about out of all the horror icons out there, say like Freddy or Jason, as Abigail, who would you want to go against? Who do you think you could just crush, wipe the floor with?
Oh my God, I think that is such a good question. I mean, Abigail's pretty amazing. And like I was saying earlier, what makes her so unique is she's a ballerina. So I think she can fly and, she's been living centuries. And she might look like this little girl who's really able, who they could defeat in a second, but she is a lot more to show, and she's been living centuries. She's well used to this. She can fly. She's flexible. She's a ballerina at the end of the day. So I'd like to see her go up against, I'm not sure, who do you think?
Someone said Freddy Krueger, and I was like, that could be really fun.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Now, last two quick questions. The locations of the film, that house was really cool. What was it like filming in all those cool little rooms? And
It was amazing. The house was so creepy. Like in real life, I was really creeped out by that house. It was huge, and every room was like really old and run down, and the set it had props and everything, and it had like mats with wolf heads sticking out and like little dead mice, obviously not real, but and that was definitely really creepy, and especially the pool with all the bodies in it. And I love horror films. I'm really good with horror films, and I think I like being scared and feeling the adrenaline, but when I seen that pool with the bodies in it, I was freaked out, like, for sure.
now, would you be excited to return for an Abigail 2 if it were to happen?
I would love to return for an Abigail too.
I'm going to cross my fingers because I loved it. So I want to see more of you as this deadly vampire.
Thank you so much.
I love the time. Look at this.
Thank you. You look
Vampiric. Thank you. We got so many phones going on as well. This is all happening.
Well, congratulations on the movie. It's
Thank
great.
you.
I really enjoyed it.
Great.
My first question is, what is your favorite vampire in all of media? So this can be a book, show, movie.
Ooh. I love the Sheila Vann's vampire in Girl Walks Home Alone at Night is really, really cool. I'm also very fond of Matt Berry and What We Do in the Shadows.
That's a great one. Pretty funny. Definitely on the funny side there.
There's no reason vampires can't be funny.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And he's proved that.
Yeah.
For you, what do you think makes it so fun to play in the playground that horror provides as a genre?
I think it's just that. It's a playground, and when you get, in front of directors like Matt and Tyler who just want to create a really silly sandbox that everyone just gets to play in, throw around ideas, improv lines, making each other laugh, as well as delivering some jumps and some scares and a ton of blood. It's so much fun.
Yeah, no, it's great. I want to pivot real quick and ask you, you're in Among Us. You're in an Among Us project. Yeah. Is there anything you could tease about that?
It's all very under wraps at the moment, but I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, that one.
And my last question, back to Abigail. What is the most unique moment you experienced while on set?
Oh, my goodness. The most unique experience was working with Angus Cloud, one of the most unique individuals I've ever met. Very, very special man, and we miss him a lot.
Really enjoyed the movie, man. You were great in it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Now, your character is so great because it's kind of against like stereotypes and a little softer than maybe you'd expect.
Yeah.
So what was it like, playing into that?
It wasn't a big stretch for me. I play a lot of big, tough guys, but, I'm really all about peace and love and art and, just having a great, peaceful, happy time on this earth. So I tend to be pulled into play these dudes who have a lot of edge, so I got to show a little bit of myself, I guess.
That's a good transition. I wanted to mention real quick, you're also in Planet of the Apes, in which you do play the opposite, like this mean leader who's like very much not Caesar. So can you talk about that movie?
Proximus Caesar.
He's yeah, he was a real dream for me to play too. I mean, it was leaning into a completely different energy, gravitas that I'm used to playing. So, I'm so excited about both. Very excited.
Now back to Abigail. For you, what is your most favorite vampire that you've ever seen in media? There's a lot of them.
Man, I have to say Guillermo del Toro's because we saw them a bunch of times. We saw them in Blade, and I saw them on the strain every day for 4 years. They would etch into my, consciousness, and I would dream about them at night because I would see them all day. It was very effective.
Last question for you. Out of all your time on Abigail, what is the most unique moment that you had compared to your long history at film and TV work?
Well, what Radio Silence and Project X did was they put us all in the same building. We all lived together. We all got very close. We'd have Friday night family dinners. We all fell in love with each other. It was just being together. So when we were working, it just felt like an extension of just that friendship. So when you get to create art with people that you love, there's really no better situation that you could find yourself in life, So it's pretty great.
It turned out great. So, great work. Thank you again. Watching the movie, I was curious. It's the fact that she's a ballerina. Why did you guys go with that angle?
I am terrified of ballerinas. I always have been. I just think anyone that can stand on their tiptoes and do stuff like that is, they're a little bit of a different kind of type of creature. But I always envisioned this movie to have a vampire who was a ballerina covered in blood. I think it's going to make a really awesome Halloween costume this year as well.
It's a great angle. You remember it.
Yeah.
Outside of that, what are some of your biggest inspirations when you were making this?
Some of my biggest inspirations, making stuff, Reservoir Dogs, Dusk Till Dawn. Don't want to go too Tarantino. I want to, obviously, The Lost Boys is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, including being one of the best vampire movies of all time. So, yeah, just all the kind of horror vampire movies I watched growing up as a kid.
Now, if you were to pick any horror icon out there to go toe-to-toe with Abigail, who would you want to see duke it out with her?
Freddy Krueger. 100%. Yeah.
That would be a good one.
Not in the dreams, Freddy Krueger in real life. Like, or Heather Langenkamp brings him back into reality. That Freddy Krueger.
Do vampires even dream? Is that a good thing for Abigail?
Sure, I'm sure vampires do dream, but it's a very good question. Yeah.
Now, my last question for you is: have you thought about what an Abigail 2 might look like?
I have, yeah, but that's up to the movie gods, so I can't really say anything about that yet.
I will pray to the movie gods because I want to say I want Abigail to become the new thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Abigail, lots more Abigails.
Well, thank you for talking with me again. It's great meeting you. Thank you.
That tie is amazing.
Thank you.
Love it, yeah.
Congratulations on the movie. I loved it. It was great. Yeah. For you, what is your favorite vampire in media that you've experienced? It's a wide net.
Good question, yeah. I mean, I love the Lost Boys characters. Kiefer Sutherland in that is probably up there for me. Gary Oldman's Dracula, and Bram Stoker's Dracula, that's an all-timer.
Now, if you controlled everything, if you could put Abigail against any other horror icon, who do you think would be the most fun to watch duke it out with her in her games?
Maybe Kirsten Dunst in Interview with the Vampire, but at that age. Which little girl vampire will win? That would be fun.
That would be fun. When making this movie, what is the most unique moment for you compared to all your other projects? What really was the big moment for you?
Probably the pool full of dead bodies.
It's a set piece.
It was, and when we were touring that location, I almost fell in that pool and killed myself. So I was very happy that it had a use other than just to try to kill the writer.
Last two questions for you. Have you considered a future for Abigail in more movies?
I mean, you hope, but nothing's set in stone. Hopefully this one does well and people like it, but who knows?
Now I have to squeeze in my last question about Final Destination, which is currently filming. Is there anything you could tease about that? Because people have been waiting for this next installment for so long.
I wish I could. I will just say that it is a really unique twist on what we've seen before. It stays true to the DNA of the franchise. That was very important to us. But John Watts, one of the producers, the director of the Spider-Man films and Cop Car, he came up with a really cool new bent for it. So I think fans are going to be excited.
Now, for you guys, what are your favorite vampires in all of media?
In all of media?
Book, film, television?
I mean, I is it sad? Is it bad to just say Dracula, like old school?
No, I mean, he would be the
I
pick.
feel like you got to go original. You start there, and then I'm going to go Alisha.
I was going to go Alisha, but then I was going to probably say Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I hope Abigail is probably going to be on that list for some people.
Alicia's
Yeah, yeah,
Abigail.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I went with her actual name.
Yeah. No, that's right. Now, playfully, right? If you guys could pick any horror icon to go toe to toe with Abigail, who would it be?
As a
Hypothetical,
heroine or as a hero or a
either or.
So like evil versus evil?
Al Pacino, Devil's Advocate.
Oh, that is a great
Solid,
pull.
right?
I don't actually think I can top that.
Hey, that's fair.
That is a great
It's a good pick.
Right?
For you guys, what was the most unique moment you guys experienced while working on Abigail?
I think anytime you get to work with somebody at Alicia's age who just raises the bar to another level and you're just in amazement over it, it's hard to top something like that.
I'm just going to say the creative use of all the blood.
There's a lot of it. Last short question for you. You guys both are on Scream 7. Is there anything you can tease, even if it's slight, about what fans can eventually see?
That I'm willing to tease?
That you can, willing, whatever word we want to use.
I think what Guy Busick came up with will continue to amaze and subvert what everybody's expecting.
I'm going to say it a little differently, which is what is old is new again.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Congratulations on this film, guys. It was great.